Hi, today we are going to discuss about the human eye. So in this human eye, here what I am showing this is the basic parts. Here it is the suspensory ligament. This is called suspensory ligament, and here this is the ciliary muscle, and here it is the iris. These two are the iris parts, and this part is the lens, and this yellow part is the cornea, and this the front part of the cornea is the conjunctiva, and this part of the liquid is called pupil, and this is the scleria, and this is the retina, and here it is the fovea, and here the nerves which are called as the optical nerve, and here the optical nerve is connected for inside of the eye. So this is the basic parts of the human eye. Now, the human eye is the sense of organ which helps us to see the colorful world around us, and with the range of only here 3,500 angstroms to and 7,500 angstroms of the light we can sense, which is called as the visible light. And the human eye like the human eye works like a camera, and its lens system forms an image on a light sensitive screen called as a retina. The eyeball is almost spherical in shape, which looks like a convex lens. With the diameter of about 2.3 centimeters, light enters the eye through a transparent membrane which is called as cornea. Behind the cornea is the muscular diaphragm, which is called as iris, which has opening called pupil. The pupil controls the amount of light entering the eye, and the eye lens helps to focus the image of object on the retina. The ciliary muscles helps to change the curvature of the lens, and which is makes the changes of the focus of the light, and it changes the focal length. Working of the eye, how it is means the eye lens forms a real invert image of the object on the retina. The light sensitive cells in the retina then produces electrical signals which are carried by the optic nerves to the brain. The brain processes the information and sends the message to the eye, and then we see the object. Probably the power of the accommodation of the eye, how we are calculating means the ability of the eye lens to see both near and distant objects by adjusting its focal length is called the power of accommodation of the eye. The eye lens is composed of fibrous jelly like material. Its curvature can be changed to some extent by the ciliary muscles. The change in the curvature of the eye lens can change its focal length when the muscles are relaxed. The lens becomes thin and its focal length increases when the muscle contract. The lens becomes thick and its focal length decreases. The near point, how we can find means the minimum distance at which the eye can see objects clearly, called the near point, or the least distance of distinction. Generally, the that means a competitive exams they can ask what is the distance which is minimum distance for to focus of our eye, means it is the 25 centimeters. In the same way, the farthest the distance up to which the eye can see objects clearly is called the far point of the eye. For normal eye, it is between 25 centimeters and infinity. And if you see that defects of vision and their corrections, generally we have three types of defects. In that, the first one is myopia, which is also known as nearsightedness. The meaning of the nearsightedness means the light which is falls on the earth, which is falls on the earth is converge, and it will makes actually the normal eye means the light will be exactly focused on the retina, but in front of the retina if the light will be focused, then that is called myopia, which is also known as nearsightedness. To correct this, we need to use the diverging lens and to adjust the lens, making the image at exactly at focus. This is the correcting of the convex lens. So here myopia is a defect of vision in which a person can see nearby objects clearly but cannot see distant objects clearly because the image is formed in front of the retina. This may be due to the causes of increase in curvature of the eye lens and increase in the length of the eyeball. It can be corrected by using the suitable concave lens with the suitable power. And the second one defect is hypermetropia for farsightedness, and when the light is incident on the human eye, and the image will be focused at behind the retina, which is called as hypermetropic eye. And to correct this, we are using the converging lens, and then the image will be formed on the retina. So here, hypermetropia is a defect of vision in which a person can see distant objects clearly but cannot see nearby objects clearly, because the image is formed behind the retina. So this is caused by the factors which is decreases in curvature of eye lens and decreases in length of the eyeball. It can be corrected by using the suitable convex lens, which is positive focal length. And the third one, presbyopia. Here the presbyopia is a defect of vision in old people in which they are not able to see nearby objects clearly due to the increase in distance of near point. This is due to the weakening of the ciliary muscles based on the age impact and decreases in the flexibility of the eye lens. It can be corrected by using suitable convex lenses. Sometimes they are not able to see both nearby and distant objects clearly. It can be corrected by using bifocal lenses consisting of both concave and convex lenses. The upper part is concave for correction of distance vision, and the lower part is convex for correction of near visions, which is consist of both effects. And by knowing of the refraction of light through a glass prism. So the glass prism angle is generally 60 degrees. So when the incident light ray is incident on the any one of the surface of the prism, then it will follow actual path is this, but it will not follow because of refraction. It will bend towards the norm because it is air medium to denser medium. It is moving. That means air to glass. So that's why lower to rarer medium to denser medium. So that's why it will bend towards the norm in this direction. And again it will move in this direction and it will be incident on here, which is the second surface of the prism. And again here it is also refraction, but this refraction is existed by bending off away from the norm. So here when a ray of light passes through a prism, it gets bent twice at the air glasses interfaces or glass air interfaces. The emergent ray is deviated by the angle of the incident. This is called as the angle of deviation. So in generally dispersion of white light by a glass prism, which is producing Vibgyor colors from the beam of white light which is incident on the glass prism by consideration of 60 degrees of angle of prism. When a beam of white light is passed through a glass prism, it is splits up into band of colors called spectrum. This is called dispersion of light. The spectrum of white light has the color of violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. The red light bends very least because of higher wavelength, and the white light bends the most because of lower wavelength and higher frequencies. So here I am showing that the different colors are having different bending natures because of different wavelengths. But suppose if I combine the two different prisms as shown in the figure, then what will be happens means when a beam of white light is passed through a glass prism, it will of course it will bend different bendings of different wavelengths of colors. So higher bending is violet and least bending is red. So here what I shown in the diagram is predicts that the bending of different colors, and if I kept the prism in opposite way, what is shown in the diagram will produce as the again converging of the different colors as in the form of white light. So when a beam of white light passes through the glass prism, it splits into its component colors like Vibgyor, and when these colors are allowed to fall on inverted glass prism, it recombines to produce white light. And the another one phenomena which is most probably we are seeing in the nature in monsoon season, which is called as rainbow. Here the rainbows are basically two types, that are primary rainbow and secondary rainbow. Here I am going to discuss about the primary rainbow. So in this rainbow formation we need basic three parts. One is sunlight and raindrop, and raindrop means which is a water drops in the environment, and we need the screen. Of course we have a screen, obviously that means the sky, but sunlight and water droplets will be existed at only monsoon season. So a rainbow is natural spectrum appearing in the sky after a rain shower because of water vapors. It is caused by the dispersion of sunlight by water droplets present in atmosphere. Here, the water droplets acts like small prisms. They refract and disperses the sunlight, then reflects it in total internally reflections, and finally refract it again when it comes out of the raindrop. Due to the dispersion of sunlight and internal reflection by the water droplets, we see the rainbow colors like this. Now this is the secondary rainbow. That means here there is a two types of total internal reflections. And atmospheric refraction. Atmospheric refraction is due to the gradual change in the refractive index of the atmosphere. The refractive index of the atmosphere gradually increases towards the surface of the earth because the hot air above and is less dense than the cool air below. So light gradually bends towards the normal. So real position of stars is different from its apparent position. So that's why the stars is always for looking it is I think it is twinkling, right? Like this, like this. And now twinkling of stars. Here I shown the diagram. The twinkling of the stars is due to the atmospheric refraction, what previously I said. The star light, and due to the change in the position of the stars and the momentum of the layer of the atmosphere, so the light from the star is sometimes brighter and sometimes fainter, and it appears or twinkling. Planets are closer to the earth than stars. The light from stars are considered as point source of light, and light from planets are considered as extended source of light. So the light from the planets nullify the twinkling effect, like this. Advanced sunrise and delayed sunset. So apparent position, and here we are real positions of the sun with respect of the observer on the earth. The sun is visible to us about 2 minutes before sunrise and about 2 minutes after sunset due to atmospheric refraction. The apparent flattening of the sun disk at sunrise and sunset is also due to the atmospheric refraction. And in this sunset and sunrise, we can observe the total sky is looks like a orange or red color because the sun is moving a far distance from the earth. So that means the higher wavelengths are having the red color. So that's why we are seeing the sky as red color, but it is not in midday because of reason is only one. That means the sunlight is very near for our earth, like this. The scattering of light and Tyndall effect. So when a beam of light passes through a colloidal solution, the path of light becomes visible due to the scattering of light by the colliding particles. This is known as Tyndall effect that I shown here in this. Now these are the Tyndall effects. The Earth atmosphere contains air molecules, water droplets, dust, smoke, and etc. When sunlight passes through the atmosphere, the path of the light becomes visible due to the scattering of light by these particles. The color of the scattered light depends upon the size of the scattering particles. Very fine particles scatter blue light. Larger particles scatter different colors of light. Like this. Here I shown some images. Why is the color of the clear sky is blue? Because the fine particles in the atmosphere have size smaller than the wavelength of the visible light. So wavelength or very small means that shows the blue color. They can scatter blue light which has a shorter wavelength and red light which has longer wavelength. When sunlight passes through the atmosphere, the fine particles in the atmosphere scatter the blue color more strongly than the red, and so the sky appears always blue. If the earth had no atmosphere, there would not be any scattering of light and the sky would appear dark. The sky appear dark at very high altitudes only. Here I can show that all those images more than 20 miles above earth, the sky is black, while light from the sun is composed of all the colors of the rainbow, which is as white light. And here I shown these are the atmosphere which is scattered, and due to the scattering here we can see the sky is blue. And color of the sky at sunrise and sunset is always red color. At sun overhead it is looks like violet because of previously I shown that.